Hello, welcome to the Counterattack playthrough series. We're playing Fields of Fire. This is the World War II campaign, the first scenario of that campaign anyway. It's called the Trévières Offensive. We're on turn 2. So a few mistakes I made that I want to point out. First mistake was when this squad was hit last turn and an assault team was peeled off of it to simulate being disorganized. That's all I did. But whenever you're hit, even if there's no damage to you, you become pinned. So I'm making this guy pinned. Okay. Another error is I didn't change the current enemy activity level from no contact to contact. And basically how that works is, let's see, contact. One friendly occupied card is under volume of fire marker. And we have a couple volume of fire markers. Automatic weapons and then incoming. Also, I made another mistake when the incoming, let's see if I can get this to focus here. The no contact, it says no volume of fire or PDF markers are on the map. So I did have a PDF marker when the artillery spotter basically called in the fire mission. So at that point I should have gone to contact. So a few mistakes there. Also, I made a lot of mistakes. When the attack came in, I should have used the hedgerows +1. Someone on Board Game Geek pointed that out to me. There is an explicit rule that basically plunging fire uses the lower defense value. Okay, so I think it's time to get going on turn 2. What we're going to do first, we don't do this on the first turn, but this is the second turn, is we see if there's a friendly higher headquarters event. So basically we draw a card, and we're looking for, I think it's like a radio or something like that, indicates the headquarters is doing something, and that would be in this area. It's not, so no higher headquarters event. So then we're going to draw for activation of our company headquarters. Ooh, drew another 5, so that's -1 for being green. Not +1 for no contact, because we do have contact. So off map here, I am activating the headquarters, giving it a 4 activations. Now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use 3 of those to activate the 3 platoons. So this will go 1, 2, 3. And then I think I might save that command the last command if I'm able to. So yes, I am. So we'll save that. So CO's activation is over. Okay, so who do I want to do? First, second, or third platoon? What am I trying to achieve here? Well, we have some machine gun fire here. We got a pinned assault team, our scouts. We have a squad here that's pinned as well, incoming fire. There's not much I can do about those guys, but one thing I can try to do is try to spot the artillery observer, maybe try to spot the machine gun and get some fire put on them. So I think I'm going to risk a little here and move my platoon up. First platoon's going to move up. So we'll go ahead and draw for first platoon. I got 4. -1 is 3 because they're green. I think the first thing they're going to do is a platoon move. This is really risky. I could have the entire platoon destroyed if that forward artillery observer decides to shift fire onto them. So I'm going to spend 2 of the actions, 1, 2, to move the entire platoon forward. So I'll move them up. Go ahead and join this assault team. They are all exposed. Need a little exposed marker. Here we go. Okay, so next they have, let's see, they have one command left. I think the CO is going to order one of his squads, it doesn't matter, to try to spot this forward artillery observer. How did I know that I could do that? Well, on the combat actions card, attempt to spot, there on the top, costs 1 action. I'm going to draw 2 cards looking for crosshairs. The originators, any headquarters or staff, which it was. The recipients, any good order unit, which it was. And let's see what we need to do here. If there's any modifiers, spotting, attempt, draw modifiers. So there's 2 cards, right? If we're green, -1, well, the squad is not green. If it's veteran +1, it's not undercover. It is exposed. Oh, wait, this is about the target. The target is undercover, -1. The target is a forward observer, another -1. That's it. So that means 0 cards, but you can always do 1. So go ahead and draw 1. There are no crosshairs in that right section there, so failed to spot. That's too bad. Now, the first platoon does have 2 saved commands. Maybe this is a time I need to, use them. It might be a little premature, but I'm thinking I'm going to do another command. You can see here, be there, exhort. Sorry for the focus here. There we go, exhort. Cost 1. Automatically works. Let's see. Oh, I don't have to draw to try to exhort. Any headquarters or staff, any subordinate unit. So basically, the headquarters, the platoon headquarters, is going to tell the guy really try to spot. So you can draw another card, and we got a crosshairs. So that's good. So I'm reducing 1 saved command. By the way, one thing I haven't mentioned is you can't issue the exact same order to an exact same unit. So I could have ordered another unit to spot, but I couldn't order the same unit to spot again. However, exhort is sort of the exception to that. So you can basically retry. Okay, so we spotted them. So the potential contact marker comes off. Okay, now one interesting thing that happens is we see them. So everybody here immediately opens fire on that enemy. This is one thing that's very different from a lot of other tactical games. You don't order someone to fire, they just fire. And if I ordered them to stop firing, a moment later they would immediately start firing again. So the troops are going to do what they think they need to do, not what I think they need to do. Okay, so got a lot of troops here. Maybe I'll spread them out a little. It's all the platoon, but just to make it a little clear what's going on here. Okay, so I'm just going to put this guy off to the side a little bit here. All these guys are exposed. So I'll just put that there to remind me, like, the entire platoon is exposed. This guy is not. Okay, so being a little messy here, but so they immediately open fire up here. So I have to place a PDF, primary direction of fire. We're firing up there. And then for the volume of fire, how much lead or how metal is flying through the air, I have to pick the best level of firing, and that would be automatic weapons. So S is small arms. Automatic weapons is the next level up. Now things with G's on them, that's quote grenades or grenade-like weapons. They're special, so it's going to be A for automatic weapons. So we throw in automatic weapons volume of fire up there. So now we are in battle. So that's basically what I wanted to do. Now first platoon still has one more command left, maybe it's time to use one of these grenade-like weapons. Try to knock that guy out. I think what we'll do is we'll order the bazooka team to fire on this position. And what that basically boils down to is the order is attempt to make a grenade attack. Now it's not a grenade, but it's got the grenade symbology. So attempt to make a grenade attack. Cost 1, we're going to draw 2, we're going to look for a grenade. Yep. Okay, so I'm removing the last saved order from the platoon headquarters. First platoon, making the grenade attack. As I do that, I need to record that some ammunition is being expended. So this is first weapons, it's a first platoon. So there we go. Oops, trying to make it so you can see that. So they have 3 bundles of bazooka shells or whatever, and they've used 1. Okay, so we're going to draw 2 cards. +1 or +1 for veteran, -1 for green, but these guys are regular, so it's just 2 cards. So first card, whoop, got a grenade. Second card, it doesn't matter. Okay. So that hit. So we go ahead and just throw a grenade marker here. And I hit that particular position. Okay, so we're good. I'm going to stack those guys back up, make it a little neater. Okay, next we'll go ahead and do second platoon, which is down here in the middle staging area. So one thing about these staging areas, they can't be fired on and they can't fire out. So, you know, I could have them advance up to here, but I think they're just going to wait and see what happens a little bit. So, but I'll go ahead and draw a card for them. Drew a 2, -1 is 1, so they get 1 command. I'm just going to go ahead and deactivate them and save that 1 command. So now they have 1 saved command. Okay, so then we'll go ahead and do third platoon. Not so good. 2 - 1 is 1. So I'll go ahead and activate them. They have 1 command right now. Let me see how many saved commands they have. They have no saved commands. Okay, so that's unfortunate. I think we're gonna try to get someone over to the side, over this way, then they can start spotting towards that guy. So we'll go ahead and spin that 1 command of theirs. They're deactivated. That's an unfortunate turn. To order third platoon, or third squad, which is reduced, over to here. Need to clear that. Once we clear that out, we'll have cleared all potential contacts off of this row. So they are exposed. Okay. Then all headquarters have been activated, so we're left with the XO and First Sergeant. I'm inclined, well, they each have 1 saved command. I guess I'm going to have the XO. Just go ahead and save the command here. And I suppose the Staff Sergeant as well. So, yeah, start saving those commands up for later when it gets really bad. Last thing to do is General Initiative. This card number there. So we have 1. So what do we want here? Well, one thing I can do is try to get one of these pinned guys out of here. Another thing I can do is try to have this guy spot this guy. Yeah, so that incoming barrage that's going on right now, it's not going to attack again. The forward observer would have to call it in again. The only reason the marker's there is to indicate that the barrage is ongoing, and that means we cannot see through this card. So maybe we'll have this guy try to spot over here. Just to remind myself what the modifiers are. There's no good modifiers, so yeah, it's going to be modified down to like 0 or -1. So I'm going to do my minimum 1 card draw to try to spot. We're looking for crosshairs. No crosshairs. Okay, that was the Americans' turn. Now it's the Germans' turn. So first thing we do is we see if their headquarters is doing anything. Look for a little headquarter radio thing there. Nope. So then we're going to do the enemy activity check. And so what we do is there's 2 enemies. We're going to do a check on each of them. Let's call this one 1. We'll call this one 2. So they're 2 locations. So random draw. Looking on the 2 column, it's a 2. So that means this guy is going to have his check first. Okay, so let's zoom in on this. Oh, another error I made in the first turn. So many errors. When I placed this guy, I placed him because the German force package chart said place on same card. But what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to randomly pick a direction or location, and some of those random choices say whatever the package says. So I should have randomly picked between 1 and 10 different things, and there would have been a chance it'd go on this card. But so oh well. So okay, so now we're going to do the enemy activity check. And basically there's this like chart you go through. Let's see if I can fit it into the camera here. So you can see enemy defensive activity. I'm looking at this chart because the scenario says it's a defensive scenario for the Germans. And then there's 3 kinds of defensive tactics they can use. The scenario says deliberate. Let's see if I can zoom that out a little bit. So what you do is you just kind of go from the top to bottom and read these. Is the enemy, the Germans, on the same card as a US unit? Yes. And not undercover? No, they are under foxholes. Okay, so that's a no. So then we go, are they on the same card as a US unit and undercover? Yes. So you can see we're going to draw. We're looking at this column here. We're going to draw a number between 1 and 3. On a 1, they're not going to do anything different other than just continue firing away. On a 2 to 3, they're going to try to throw some grenades at the Americans. So let's see what we got. On a random number between 1 and 3, they got a 2. So they're going to make a grenade attack. They're line quality, so that's 2 cards. Looking for a grenade counter, and we got a grenade. So they successfully made a grenade attack against these guys. So those guys are not going to be happy. Okay, so then we go process the other German unit. That's the forward artillery observer that's under automatic weapons fire and has just had a bazooka shell land in its trench, but it is in a trench. So forward observers for artillery have special rules. They don't have to follow that sort of flow chart. Basically, if they have fire missions available, this one has 1 more fire mission available, it's going to prioritize targets. The first priority is targets that are already have the volume of fire marker from artillery, if there's units there, and there are. So in other words, they're going to prioritize keeping the fire going. So if these guys were dead or moved out, they would probably try to shift fire, and or they would shift fire, and it would probably end up shifting to this entire platoon. So that's sort of a strategy, I guess, is a little strange for real life, that these guys would stay here so that these guys don't get bombarded, which I don't think would really happen. But anyway, so these guys need to try to make a call to the artillery battery to call in another barrage. The scenario instructions indicate artillery spotters for the Germans. Draw 3 cards to see if they can successfully make the call. We're looking for like an artillery burst symbol. Oh, there's one. Okay, so they've successfully called in another pending fire mission. Okay. So one thing I didn't do correctly, but it doesn't matter just yet. It will in a second. We're not only engaged, which is 2+ friendly occupied cards are under volume of fire markers. So we have more than contact. We're heavily engaged, which is we're engaged, meaning 2 friendly occupied cards are under volume of fire, and at least one card has both enemy and friendly units on it. This card over here. So we're actually heavily engaged right now. So I was 2 levels too low. So moving up to heavily engaged. Okay, so next this barrage ends and this one begins. So flip that over. Okay, now we have to evaluate potential contact markers that we've encountered. And we've done one over here. Okay, so that's level C. And for C, come on, well, sorry for the focus here. C, when heavily engaged, we draw 1 card only, so that's good. Let's draw the card. No contact. We've cleared the orchard of the enemy. We've cleared this entire row. So that's good. We still need to clear the row back here and take our objectives, but that is positive. Okay, now we're going to do the simultaneous combat. So go ahead and do this one first. So this pinned unit here in the woods. It's pinned. It's just undergone a grenade attack by these Germans up here. It's also taking automatic weapons fire. For a grenade attack, though, it supersedes any other volumes of fire. So we're going to make a -4 grenade attack with a +1 for pinned. +2 for the terrain. So we're looking at -1. -1 is pin. Well, they're already pinned, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so we can go ahead and remove this grenade. Now for the incoming here. We'll do this right this time, so it's -4 per scenario instructions, +1, so we're at -3. Cover, -2. Pinned, -1. So not as bad as it could be. Reshuffle. -1 is pinned. They're all pinned, so nothing to do there. Then the last item, these guys up here, or this guy, the forward artillery observer. So let's see what we have going on. So the grenade attack supersedes the automatic weapons fire. It's at -4. +2 for the trenches, +2 for the woods. So it's only a 0. See what a 0 is? A 0 is a miss. It's too bad. Take the grenade off. Now, one thing is we do want to record that we made a successful grenade attack. So I'll go ahead and do like, I don't know, just put a tick mark there to say I did a grenade attack. Maybe I'll put a G here. So at the end of the scenario, that'll matter. Sorry for making you watch that. Okay, so now we adjust things. If anyone had died, we might have to adjust primary direction of fire and such, but I think everything is pretty stable. Exposed markers come off. Exposed marker comes off. And that's the end of the turn. Oh, one thing I need to do is record ammunition expenditures. So let's see, that bazooka already did, but first platoon's machine gun was firing away. That's what the automatic weapons fire was. This PDF here with automatic weapons volume of fire up there. And then what else do we have here? The artillery spotter fired their last salvo. And then the machine gun team continued firing. Okay. And then I remove the spotter. Spotters have special rules. They just get removed once their missions are over. Their trenches stay. All right, so that is the end of the turn. Catch you on the next one.